Hello everyone, I am Dr. Tanmay Haldar and welcome to my channel BioLearn Academy. And today in this video we are going to discuss everything about the CSIR NET examination life science. There are so many students who actually want to appear in this particular examination, but some of them don't even know the entire procedure for CSIR NET examination. So in today's video, I am going to discuss about the all possible aspects of CSIR NET examination. So if you are a CSIR NET aspirant, then please stay tuned and watch the video till end. Now if we talk about the CSIR UGC NET Life Science, now this is a national eligibility test which is jointly conducted by CSIR and UGC. Now this examination actually happened twice a year, in the month of June and in the month of December. Generally it's happened in the third Sunday of June and in the month of December. And the application procedure start generally 2.5 or 3 months before the scheduled date of examinations. Now when you go to apply for that particular examination, then one thing you will notice that there are two different categories for this particular exam. One is LS, another one is JRF. Now what are the basic differences between the JRF and the LS? So if you qualify the exam in LS category, that means they will not provide you any fellowship to perform your research career or to pursuing the PhD degree. But you are eligible to join any lab all over the India to pursue your PhD degree, and the most advantage thing is that you are eligible to apply for the post of assistant professorship in any colleges or university all over the India. So this is a major advantage of CSIR UGC NET, because there are so many other examinations like DBT JRF, ICMR JRF, but in every case they will provide you ample opportunity to start your research career. But if you want to become a teacher, if you want to become an assistant professor in any colleges or university all over the India, then you must have qualified the CSIR UGC NET exam, either in LS category or JRF category, no matter, but you have to qualify. And now what is the JRF? Now if you qualify as a JRF, that means they will give you a good amount of fellowship to perform your research career and to pursue your PhD degree. And the tenure of the fellowship is 5 years, generally 2 years JRF and 3 year SRF. And in certain cases, if the student not able to register for any PhD course, not able to enroll in a PhD course within 2 years, then the JRF become 3 years and SRF will be restricted to 2 years. But the combined period of JRF plus SRF should be 5 years, not more than that. And if you qualify in the JRF category, that means you are also eligible to apply for the assistant professorship in any university or colleges all over India. So in my opinion, always try to fill in the JRF plus LS category, not for the only LS category. Though there is some age restriction. If your age is more than 28, you will not able to appear in the JRF category. The only option you can opt is the LS. Though there are some age relaxation also for ST, SC, ST, OBC, physically handicapped and female candidate, there are 5 years of age relaxation. But otherwise, if your age is more than 28, you can only go for the LS category. Otherwise, it's always better choice to fill for the JRF category. Now if we talk about the pattern of the questions which actually came in the examination, now this is the MCQ based examination. That means there will be multiple choice questions. And previously you have to fill the OMR sheet by hands, but presently the test is actually conducted by the National Testing Agency NTA, and the exam become CBT format, that means computer based test format. So you have to give the examination by sitting in front of a computer. And if we discuss about the question pattern, then there are three different categories: part A, part B and part C in the question paper. Now in the part A, there will be 20 questions, and out of 20 you have to answer only 15 questions, right? And in the B part, there will be 50 questions, and out of 50 you have to answer only 35 questions. And in the C part, the most vital part, in the C part, there are 75 questions, and out of 75 you have to attend only 25 questions. Okay, and the part A and part B, each question carries 2 marks, and in case of part C, each questions carry 4 marks, and the entire exam is 200 marks, and you will get 3 hours to complete your examination. And there are one more thing you have to keep in your mind, that in this examination there is a pretty good amount of negative marking. Okay, if you give a wrong answer of any question in part A and part B, 0.5 marks will be deducted from your total score. And if you give a wrong answer in part C, then 1 marks will be deducted from your entire score. Okay, so this is actually 25% marks will be deducted for each wrong answer. So be careful. And now if we talk about the syllabus of CSIR NET examination, now as I've already told you that the CSIR UGC NET examination, there are 5 different subject category. Okay, but today in this video we will discuss only about the CSIR UGC NET life science category. So now if we look into the syllabus of that life science, there are 13 different units. Okay, there are 13 modules or units in a syllabus which you have to cover in order to qualify the NET examination. But one thing you have to keep in your mind, that not every unit contain same amount of question. Okay, because in some year more questions came from ecology part, in another year you may find that more questions from cell biology part, or in some year there will be more question from physiology part, whether it is animal physiology or plant physiology. So there are many variation in the question pattern, but there are some unit which always carry good amount of questions in each and every year. So those are the units you have to target, because if you prepare them very well, then you can easily answer a good amount of question in the CSIR NET examination. So I think I give you a overall solid idea about the entire CSIR UGC NET life science examination. Now if you have any doubt related to CSIR NET examination, you can write in the comment section, or you can join my Telegram channel. The link has been already given in the description. You can join there and you can ask any question related to CSIR NET examination. And every day I perform various activity in my Telegram channel. If you like the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel, and please hit the bell icon so that you will get the notification for my future videos, because in the upcoming video we will discuss about different tips and tricks so that you can easily qualify the CSIR NET examination in your first attempt. And we will also discuss about the different effective strategy to qualify the CSIR NET examination very easily. And I will also discuss about the different important topics of CSIR NET examination. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching and best of luck for your exam.